So why you should adopt a pet rather than purchasing one. So why adopt? So when discussing the importance of animal adoption, some useful ideas to keep in mind are the ability to save an animal's life or change it, the reduced cost and maintenance of owning a pet, and assisting in the fight against animal cruelty. So, some things to consider. First, I will describe how rescuing an animal can change both years in the pet's life. I will also describe how it can affect the reduced cost and maintenance of owning a pet. And lastly, I will talk about how animal adoption has a lasting effect in the fight against animal cruelty. So some reasons to adopt. The ability to change or save an animal's life is a truly fulfilling experience and can prove to be very beneficial to not only your personal well-being, but your furry little friends as well. So, according to a large survey conducted at the University of York, out of 5,000 pet owners, nearly 90% of pet owners reported that their pet helped them cope better during the pandemic. So, hypothetical research. So, according to information provided by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, adopting a pet has proven to significantly help with anxiety, depression, and overall mental well-being of participating pet owners. So, some more mental health benefits. Another study conducted by BMC Public Health found that over a 3-month period of time, people who had adopted a pet had become less lonely. The results of the study were also suggested of a relatively rapid positive impact of the mental health of the participant within the first 3 months of pet adoption. So, reduced amount of maintenance. So, something to keep in mind when adopting a pet from a shelter is that in some cases the pet has already been trained and has a fully developed personality and might have all of its shots and stuff like that. So, according to information presented by the Humane Society of the United States, many pets that can be found at shelters have already been house trained and are used to living with families.
Wow, that's a good point.
So, the cost of adopting. According to Pet Care Hospital and Wellness Center of Washington, purchasing pets from a store or breeder can cost an upward of $500 to $1,000 or more for the total amount of the pet from the shelter, and only about $50 to $200 for the total amount from a pet from a shelter. Something else to keep in mind is for the most part, a lot of pets from shelters have already been neutered, spayed, received their vaccinations, and in some cases have already been microchipped.
That's a really good point.
So, according to the Pet Care Hospital and Wellness Center, it is common practice for shelter to conduct examinations of shelter pets as they enter the shelter. These pets are then subject to any necessary vaccination, surgical needs, or behavioral work that could help get them adopted. So, battling animal cruelty. Basically, some ways that adopting an animal rather than purchasing one can help fight animal cruelty is in the sense that every time you adopt an animal, you save one animal's life, and you're also able to open up another spot in the shelter to create for another animal in need, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you're also able to directly take away from puppy and kitty breeding those, or they just overbreed the same dog or cat over and over again, which is pretty messed up. So the study also mentioned that each year over 1 million adoptable cats and dogs are euthanized in the United States simply because of the lack of people adopting and the continuation of people buying from pet stores and pet breeding mills. So, fighting for a good cause. The Pedigree Foundation of America suggests that in a short persuasive article about pet adoption, that every time you adopt an animal from a shelter, you actually save 2 animals, including the next animal that checks in from at the shelter, as I just mentioned. The same article by the Pedigree Foundation explains that many more homeless animals every year are often the result of backdoor breeding techniques used by puppy and kitty mills, which the mothers are repeatedly overbreeded over and over again, causing many of these pets to be diagnosed with serious health issues. overpopulation and homelessness. So it's also believed that by adopting a pet from a shelter, you can help break the cycle of pet overpopulation and homelessness. Pet overpopulation has become a huge problem over the years, and up to 8 million animals have become euthanized each year in result of not finding a home, falling ill, or both. By the time society is primarily able to start adopting rather than buying, is when we'll fully be able to stop the shady trade of domesticated house pets. In conclusion, according to another article by the Pedigree Foundation, when most people adopt pets from a shelter, it helps create a message to it helps share like the message to adopt an animal, and like convince your friends and people you know to adopt rather than purchasing one. So when discussing the importance of animal adoption, some useful ideas to keep in mind are how the pet can change your life and how you can change its life, and how that can be a fulfilling experience for both of you. The reduced cost and maintenance, maybe the cat or dog already got all of its shots, neutered, spayed, that kind of thing, microchipped, and also the fight against animal cruelty. Personally, I've had many positive experiences with helping animals in need in the past, and I believe that they're very helpful when we need somebody the most to.